I saw P1 live with Matt and Tommy in Toronto. What an awesome experience it was, and what an inspiring experience it was. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael, and welcome back to Last to First. While we are still waiting for the season to get back underway, I had the opportunity this past week to see the P1 live show with Matt and Tommy in Toronto, and it was a really fun experience. I really didn't know what to expect from the show, given that it was a podcast, obviously going to a live show. I didn't know exactly what it was entail, what they were going to talk about, especially given that it's in between races right now with a pretty extended break, and I was pleasantly surprised with what a fun experience it was. I've been listening to their podcast for several years now, since they were still with WTF1, and I continued on listening to them in their new adventure with P1, and it was really fun to see it all in person and see the show in person. So let's get into some of the highlights of it. Probably the best part of the whole experience was the fan interaction that they gave throughout the live show. I was wondering if it was just going to be just them kind of talking on stage and really just doing a podcast live and in person, but they really brought in the fans with a lot of things that really upped the level and up the production quality of everything. That I think made it a really cool experience. They went throughout the venue with the fans and asked them things like controversial opinions, controversial questions, different things like that, and it really got everybody riled up and talking amongst themselves about if that opinion was correct or not, or if it was or was not controversial. So that was a really fun way to kind of kick off the show. It really brought the fans together with Matt and Tommy. Matt was right there amongst all the fans, going over all of these controversial takes and discussing his and Tommy's takes on their opinions as well. So that was definitely fun. I tried to get my name out there, but unfortunately wasn't picked in that portion of it, but that's okay. It was still really fun to hear other people's controversial opinions. They also, in the second half of the show, did this interaction with the fans where they brought a few people up and had them create a fake 2026 grid. And it was really funny because it included some people who would certainly not be on the grid, such as Michael Massey, Gunther Steiner, Lawrence Stroll, people like that. And it just got everybody really enjoying the show and having a good laugh with it all, because it just added an extra element to it, bringing some fans up there, which was really cool to see. They also did a portion called Challenge Tommy. Tommy, if you don't know, if you haven't been watching them, he's been in the Formula One for a long time and knows a lot of background on the sport. And they brought up a fan who was completely dressed out in all Williams gear, who was actually a McLaren fan, funny enough, and brought him on stage to challenge Tommy. And he was able to win a McLaren backpack for quote unquote beating him, even though he got some easier questions than Tommy did, but it was still pretty neat to see. He even threw an absolute shameless plug out there for himself, so that was a bit funny. But yeah, in addition to some of the more interactive pieces of the show, they of course did more of a podcast style chat where they were just kind of laid back, going over some major topics throughout the year, such as the McLaren, their rise up into title contention, and some of the team orders question marks that they've had throughout the year, and just kind of talked about getting prepared for the season to get underway and some of the excitement going into 2025. Of course, it was also really funny. If you follow P1, you'll know how big of a fan Matt is of Ferrari, and there was a whole segment dedicated to Ferrari slander and some of his hilarious reactions to Ferrari struggles throughout the years. So that was some really quality content. I think everybody enjoys getting a laugh out of Matt breaking down over the Ferrari disaster class that they are. So that was a really good time. Had some good laughs with that. Overall, it was just a really fun experience. There was several hundred fans that showed up for the show, and it was in a nice venue that was pretty compact, so it kind of felt pretty good and intimate, felt close with everybody, and it was just really cool to be around some other Formula One fans and everybody who is talking and knowing about the same thing. Being in America, I don't often get to be surrounded by a lot of Formula One fans, so that was really awesome to be in an environment where everybody knows Formula One and the world that I spend so much time in. So that was really neat. I was surprised with how many people there were. I didn't know really what to expect. I know they have a big online following, but I didn't know how many people would be at the show, and it was pretty substantial. It was pretty cool to see. It was really awesome. My biggest takeaway from the show is that it was just really inspiring for me as an aspiring podcast and content creator in the world of Formula One, because it's hard to believe that a podcast about Formula One could be able to transition and make a live show out of it and have many fans come out and show it all across even the US, the UK, everywhere that they're going. I think it's really awesome to see that that's a level that's attainable, and I think it shows what a bright future the Formula One content world has going forward. And I think it's really just the beginning. I mean, Formula One has only just started taking off recently. I think it's going to continue to grow, and I think the world of content creation within the Formula One community has a much higher ceiling than what it's at. So it was really inspiring, really awesome to see. Made me want to get on to my podcast and just keep grinding, keep going, and try to make it happen. So it was really cool to see that, and I have a lot of respect for what they've been able to achieve so far. The biggest surprise and most pleasant surprise of the evening was that Matt and Tommy actually did a meet and greet for all of the fans. It wasn't just people who paid more for a VIP package, but anybody who wanted to stay after the show. They made time to meet everybody, and the vast majority of people did stay to meet them, so they must have been there for quite some time. But it was really awesome that they did that. They didn't have to do that, especially for all of the fans, without having like a VIP package or anything. They gave time for everybody to meet them, get a picture, and have an awesome time out of it. They were allowing some questions and stuff at first, but then it was taking too long, so they had to move things along and just do a picture and move on. But that was really nice of them, and it was really cool just to meet them in person, which was really cool. You'll see some pictures and some videos in the video here if you're watching the video version. So yeah, I was really grateful to them. They were really nice in person, awesome in the show, and what a cool experience it was for the live show. So I'm really grateful to have gone. It was a pleasant surprise. My girlfriend gifted me the tickets. I had no idea that she was going to do that, and it was really nice of her, and I really enjoyed the trip. So thank you to her, and thank you to Matt and Tommy for an awesome live show. So those are some of my thoughts on the P1 live show with Matt and Tommy. If you're interested, give me a like, a subscribe, a follow on the social media platforms. I'm on Twitter or X as Last the First Real, first spelled F1RST. I'm on Instagram as Last the First. Find me on all the major podcast platforms. Find me on YouTube for the video version, all as Last to First. I also have a blog at lastofirst.wordpress.com. Once again, first spelled F1RST. So give me a follow if you're interested. Thank you all for tuning in. The next race at COTA at the US Grand Prix is right around the corner, and I am so looking forward to it. Look out for my predictions coming next, and I'll see you all in the next one.